Are we live?
I don't know. I think so.
Hi. This is so exciting. This is my first time actually doing a live show, hosting it and not just joining it. So I'm very freaked out by this screen. I'm trying to figure it all out.
I know. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know what I'm doing. We will figure it out together. Well, thank you so much for joining. Yeah. I see some people, yay, I'm seeing comments and chats from people. So obviously we are working. We are being seen. So thank you so much for joining, Brittany. I am so happy that we are kicking off our first Shelf Space Book Club live show. So thank you all to those of you who are joining. Hello. Hi, everyone. Can you see the chat as well, Brittany?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so why don't we start off with you introducing yourself and talk about your channel, and then give us your top 3 favorite fantasy and or sci-fi books.
Oh, shoot. Okay, my name is Brittany. I have the YouTube channel Books with Brittany. And so I primarily read adult fantasy and sci-fi, and then some young adults still. Oh my gosh, my favorite. Okay, so Nevernight Chronicles, I have to put that in there. A kind of newer favorite is The Starless Sea. That kind of.
Yes, I've seen you talk about that on your channel, and you've had me very intrigued to read it.
It's different, and then, oh my gosh, I want to be like Joe Abercrombie, Brent Weeks in one.
Okay, yes, I like that combo. Yes.
Yeah. So I'll go with that. That's cheating, but.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. So I feel like we have a lot to chat about with this book. So for those of you who are joining, hello. Our June book club pick was Kings of the Wyld by Nicholas Eames. So thank you to those of you who joined. I've been trying to kind of hold back my thoughts in the Discord server and stuff, because I feel like we have a lot to chat about on the live show. So before we even get into the big deep dive, go ahead, Brittany, and tell us your star rating and kind of your reasoning behind it. And then I'll ask everyone in the chat to also give your star rating for the book so we can see what people's thoughts are. And then we'll deep dive into it.
Okay. And then I don't even think I know what you rated it yet. So then,
then I'll share mine.
Okay, so I gave it a 3.75 out of 5 stars, that's still for my rating, that's still a good rating. And I'm going to continue on with Bloody Rose. So I did enjoy it. I think that I thought it was really fun and really funny. I did laugh a lot, but there was a lot of references that didn't resonate with me. And I have a friend who really loves this series, and he gets all of the 70s music references and all of the Dungeons and Dragons references, and all over I didn't pick up on any of them. So I think that, plus, I mean, we'll get into it later, I'm sure, but the plot was just so meandering to me, just so much in such a little amount of time that my mind was like, I can't keep it straight.
Yeah. Okay. So we actually felt very similar then, because I ended up giving it a 4-star.
Okay.
So pretty much your rating, except rounded up.
Yeah.
And I had very similar feelings. I think where this book shined the most was characters. I mean, the characters were really fun to follow, and I did feel an investment in their story. And I love that the book didn't take itself too seriously. It wasn't something I feel like I've read before. It was very unique in that regard, because it was just very humorous, and I loved all of that. But I agree, the plot and kind of I feel like it read very much action scene and then a break chapter, action scene, break chapter. It was very formulaic in that way. And for me, I'm not the most visual reader, so I don't know why I love fantasy the way I do. I visualize in my head what's going on. So for me, a lot of the action scenes and stuff, while they were fun, I just didn't. I had trouble visualizing them, and so I didn't care as much about the action. And this book had a lot of it, so. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I still gave it 4 stars. I see a couple people agree 4 stars. So yeah, I thought it was fun, but let's talk deeper about kind of the characters first. So who was your favorite character?
I think that, honestly, I think Clay was my favorite just because we were in his mind the most, you know, so I felt like I had that connection with him more than the rest. Just because you could see his thoughts so much more. But Moog was definitely my favorite side character, which that's probably most people's.
Yes, look at this. I love Moog. Yes, yes. I think Moog was so much fun. I agree. I like Clay the most. I just love being inside his head and the snarky commentary he had on everything. Like this whole book, I just like tabbed so much of this book with just Clay's funny little anecdotes and stuff that he would talk about. But I think Moog definitely shined as like the primary secondary character. Yes, everybody loves Moog. Yes.
I have to say also though, Jane, like I just love her.
Oh my God.
Like, I was like, when is she gonna come back? Because
I know, right? I loved it. And that was such a funny running gag. I feel like there were several like running gags throughout the whole book where Lady Jane and the Silk Swords, is that what they were called?
I think so.
Something like that. Yeah, I loved like their constant appearances and just messing stuff up for the crew. Yeah. And then they finally kind of bonded at the end. I love that.
So she would just make me stop and think like, wow, she just said that.
Yes. I loved her. Yeah, who was your least favorite character?
I don't know if I really thought about it like that. I suppose, I'm trying to think. Do you have one?
I don't know. It's hard because like I didn't feel very invested in the villain. Like I thought I can't remember. Last Leaf. Yeah, Last Leaf for me was kind of not a very good villain. Like I just didn't care that much, but I didn't have like a least favorite. Like I was annoying this person every time they appeared on the page. I was annoyed with them or something like that. But yeah, so I'm glad that we kind of like don't have a particular character that was like, oh, this guy again.
Yeah, I would agree. But I did like Larkspur. I liked her character throughout.
Oh, I loved Larkspur. Yeah, I really liked Larkspur. And I loved when she lost her memory. Yeah. So it was the way they bought. I liked that. I liked that a lot. Oh, Rebecca's is her least favorite. Gabriel was her least favorite. Yeah, I think Gabe. Yeah, I think this book might have benefited. Would you say it would have benefited from multiple perspectives?
Yes, especially because we're trying to find his daughter. You know, it just would have made sense if we got to hear from it, like inside his head a little bit.
Yes, I agree. I felt very removed from Gabe. Like I liked the beginning meeting Gabe, and then I kind of didn't care anymore.
And he didn't seem like a very like strong character himself, like very I don't know, just like whether it's physical strength or even within like fighting, I just didn't get that feeling from him at all.
Yeah, Jessie, I loved all the references. Classic rock references made it for me. I agree. Yes. Larkspur was badass. Yes. I feel like, yes, like everyone has very similar feelings about this book. It's good. I'm glad that everyone seemed to enjoy it for the most part.
I'm glad to see some other like 3 and 4 star ratings though, because I thought I like when I rated it 3.75 stars, I'm like, so many people are going to be mad because I feel like everyone gives this 5 stars. And so I'm glad to see that not everyone is giving it 5 stars.
Yes. Yes. I agree.
Deserve it if you resonate with all of those things, but.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Multiple perspectives, particularly from Gabe, would have been beneficial. I agree. Yes. Kishma, I agree. Yeah. I will say I had one thing written down that I wanted to bring up because I think you started bringing it up in the Discord server about kind of the direction of the plot and how it kind of meandered. And a couple people have talked about how the ending was a little bit ridiculous, like that no one died at the end and there was like this huge war and like no one died. What was your thought on that?
You know, I did read that like just before this in the Discord. And so I was kind of thinking about it a bit more. I think my initial feeling when it first ended was I wasn't too surprised since it was like getting the band back together. And then, so I don't know if I expected any of the main characters to die, but it just did a little bit feel anticlimactic, I guess. I liked how he did the last battle because like you said, I have a hard time picturing those things. So I liked that it wasn't like 50 straight pages of just like battling because I would have like not been able to picture all of that.
Yes, I agree. I'm glad that it wasn't this huge battle. It was just too convenient, wrapped it up too nicely, used to darker fantasy. Yeah. And I think it would have been off tone if this book had this like really depressing ending with like one of our main guys dying, because the whole tone of this book felt very lighthearted. Yeah. It didn't take itself seriously. It was kind of this like love letter to like Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. It almost felt like I was like reading a video game. Yeah. Make an awesome video game. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even more so than like, I always like thinking like, would this book be better as a TV show, a movie, or like a video game? And this one is firmly, in my opinion, video game territory.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So I feel like it would have been kind of off tone if one of our main guys had died. It would have been like, what? Yeah. This book has been so lighthearted. So I can see why he made that choice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can glad they lived, but I wish Clay would have not have had his handpick. That was very convenient. That was like one of those very convenient things that happened that was like, really, it was that easy for him to grow back a whole hand? Yeah, I do agree.
I think that's part of why it got a little bit lower rating, just because overall I feel like it didn't leave that much of an impact. You know,
right. Yeah, I agree. Like, this is a really good comment because it did feel kind of surface level. Like, I don't think it read very dark. Mm-hmm. Like, this would be like, I don't know if I would necessarily recommend it to people transitioning from young adults to adult fantasy, just because it's very heavy, like on the world building at some points and does get a little complex, but it isn't a dark book with like these deep themes that you're exploring or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Oh, I love this, Greenie. I love this. Wholesome dad energy. Yes, I would be happy. Like, if any of these guys were my dad, that would be like super fun. Yeah, the plot armor is a bit too much. Yeah, I do agree. I agree with that. So I had a question. What did you think of the world building in this book? Because it does have some like history and such that's kind of hinted to.
So I think, like I said, this book is just, it's not tailored to my preferences in reading. And I'm doing a reread of Way of Kings right now. And I actually told my friend, I was like, to me, this book is 10 times harder to keep track of than The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, which is a monster of a book with huge world building. Because that was one of my main problems is we had so many little like one-liners given to you about details of the past, and I'm a reader where I need to know everything and I want to like keep track of everything. And I just like I would have had to write like pages of notes to keep track of the history or who was who. And that's when I messaged in the Discord and you were like, you got to let it go. And I was like, I can't let it go. I need to know who's who. And then, like you said, it's just impossible. So as far as like, I guess I honestly didn't care about the history, and I didn't even care about the whole history of like Last Leaf and the Druids. And I didn't care about it. And I don't know if that's unpopular opinion or not, but I just didn't care about it.
Yeah, I agree. That's not what this book was trying to do. It wasn't trying to create this very expansive world and, be rich in history like a Way of the Kings. That's like totally next level. Oh my God. Oh, one of my favorites. But yeah, I don't think that's what Nicholas Eames set out to do. I think he wanted something that was just much more character focused and just concentrated on a good time and following these characters on a journey. And yeah, I didn't care either much about the world.
He's not alone.
Like the creatures and such. I just like could not keep track of all the different creatures and like that parade that happened in like one of the chapters. I was like, what is going on?
I know. I didn't know what to expect whatsoever with this book. And I think it was from the very beginning we started getting all the different creatures. And I was like, this is cool that we have like all these different magical creatures in the world. So I liked that there were all kinds of species, but I think it was more so like the history. And then like when I was talking to one of my friends about it, and he said it was kind of like getting the band back together and reminiscing on all these memories almost that they had. And that's exactly what they were doing when they were the band of mercenaries and I think that's where the disconnect was for me, because it was just a little tiny story, but not enough to like feel connected to it.
Right. Yeah. Like here's Rebecca saying the descriptions of weird creatures got to be a little too much. Yes. It was just too many. There were so many. I kept wanting to finish Kings of the Wyld so I could fully jump into Way of Kings. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yes. Yes. That's so true, Julie May. Yes. I mean, well, reading this alongside Way of Kings, I mean, Way of Kings is like everyone's favorite fantasy of like all time. It's such a good book. So I can see why you would want to get back to that one. No, yeah, I totally agree. I don't think that the history really mattered in this one. Like it didn't impact the story in any way. It didn't change any of the outcomes or anything like that.
Right.
And maybe that'll be explored more in Bloody Rose. I know you said that you are going to read Bloody Rose. I'd love to see in the chat if everyone else is intending on reading the next book, because I definitely am. I think it's one of those where you do have to be in the mood for it. I think I remember you saying that. You have to be in the mood for just like a fun time, lighthearted. Yeah.
And I've heard some things that Bloody Rose might appeal to my taste a little bit more, is like maybe a little bit more focused and like action packed rather than a meandering plot from what I've heard. So that could be good.
Yes, I agree. So I'm curious from all of these different scenes, I felt like this book was a compilation of just different moments and like scenes and action. What was your favorite moment from the book?
Like I am a sucker. I like tragedy and I like really sad things. So one of my favorite things in the beginning. So we can talk like spoilers.
Oh yeah, spoilers.
So just in the very beginning, obviously, when Clay's like, "No, I'm not gonna do this," and then he turns around and goes and tells Gabe, like, "Okay, look, we're gonna make this happen." I think also too, though, some of the interactions with Gabe and Rose at the end, I guess, were just like really sweet. Yeah. Probably. And like I mentioned in the Discord, it's the little things of like when Clay got the turtle and then Gabe went to set it free because he like couldn't like that type of thing. Honestly, those were the moments that I liked best. But also every time that I started to get maybe a little frustrated with a scene of world building or history, there would just be some sentence that would make me laugh so much. So that's what I liked best about it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's interesting because I really liked the scenes at the very beginning between Clay and his daughter. Like I loved when he was like tucking her into bed and she's like, "You're going to go after Rose, right, Daddy? Like you'd come if it was me." I loved like that scene between them. And I almost wish that instead of ending the book on Clay being reunited with his wife, I wish we had gotten the daughter in there. Like that would have been such a sweet moment because he's in it for his daughter, like thinking like, what if it was my daughter this whole time? I was so surprised that we didn't get like that moment between them at the end.
Especially after he's just told that she killed, I forget what she killed. The centaur?
What did she kill? She did kill something.
And the mom was like, she's not going to pick up a sword ever. And I was like, I kind of think she's going to.
I would love to see like a future book following. Well, I'm excited to follow Rose in the next book for sure.
And I wonder if Chili will pop up in it at all, you know?
Yeah, that would be a fun little cameo. Yeah, but I think like my favorite moments, like you said, were just like the moments. I loved slowly getting the band back together. Like them trying to get Matrick, which I don't know how to say his name. I'm just gonna say Matrick.
But I think that's right.
I loved them getting him away from that crazy queen. Yeah. It was so awful. And I loved like them getting Moog and just them like collecting their crew was so much fun to follow.
I think that speaking of Matrick, I think with everything wrapping up so nicely at the end, and then he ends up like giving up drinking and I was just like, I don't think so. Like, I didn't like that way.
Yes, it was very, very nicely wrapped up in this pretty bow.
Yeah.
Especially like for Matrick, he did not seem like the kind of character that would just stop very quickly like change like that. That was
I didn't think so.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try to catch up on some of these comments. Let's see what everyone loved. Snapping her away. I knew the reveal was coming, but it still felt badass. Yes, I love Larkspur. All of her moments were so fun.
Do we know at which point she actually got her memories back?
I don't think it's ever revealed like the exact moment.
Because she was pretending there for a little while, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, the centaur. That's what she killed. That's right. Thank you, Jessie. Gabe's speech. Yes, that was a really good.
It was.
That was fun.
That was good.
Yeah. It looks like people are going to read Bloody Rose. That's awesome. Yay, I'm so glad. So, okay, Jilly May. Yeah. No, that's fine. I can see why folks wouldn't continue on because this book did wrap up nicely where it's not like, oh my God, I need the next book.
Not a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So, but I did hear my friend who really loves this book said this one's based on 70s rock. Bloody Rose is 80s, and then the third one is going to be 90s. So maybe the 90s one.
Yeah, that's so fun. Yes, that's what was the daughter. I wish we'd had the daughter at the end. I just wanted more of that. Yes, thank you, people, for validating my opinions. Oh, let's see. Yes. I like that whole idea that she's going to be like Rose. Okay, so I did get a couple of questions from folks that they wanted us to chat through. Okay. So I'm going to read some of the questions that were sent in the Discord server. So we've got, okay, these are fun. People ask good questions. Okay, I have to go all the way to the top. Hold on. Miss Winchester asked, if the book were turned into a movie or TV show, who do you see playing each character?
I am so bad with actors and actresses. I have zero answers.
Okay, I'll try to give some sort of decent answer. I probably won't be able to name everybody. I think that, Clay Cooper, the whole time, I was kind of picturing like a Josh Brolin type dude. Do you know who Josh Brolin is? What's he from?
I can look at my phone real quick.
Yeah, look him up. Because I feel like that's very much like a Clay Cooper. He's like the perfect age to like at least play one of them. Josh Brolin.
I can see that.
Maybe. I'm trying to think what else. Moog. Who would play Moog? Could the guy who played Dumbledore play Moog?
Right.
Whoever played Dumbledore.
Wizardish, get the beard.
I don't know. That's so hard. I'm really bad at like castings.
Something that I'm honestly really bad about sometimes is paying attention to character description, when I don't even know what color hair people have sometimes, or if they're short or tall or large. Just like that's just something that's not like super important to me when I'm reading. So
I feel that. Yes. Yeah. Okay. People are sending it their answers. They're probably Russell Crowe. Okay, I can see Russell Crowe. He's like that age. And he's kind of like gained weight now, so he does kind of look like out of it. So that's
Brittany doesn't watch TV or movies. She knows.
Yeah, this is awesome. Yes, Jason Momoa should play.
Okay, yeah.
I love that. I love that. Brad Pitt is Golden Gabe. I can see that. So funny.
I like this. You guys are doing good with the cast.
Yes, I will just let you guys cast.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question, we already kind of talked about what were some of your favorite quotes, scenes, or moments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I actually had a question for you. What was your favorite like joke? Like there's a lot of like running jokes throughout this book. I don't know if you had like one that always kind of was a recurring joke that you just found hilarious, because I have an answer for this and I'm curious if you like noticed any recurring jokes.
I mean, the only one I can really think of, I guess, would be like the owl bear, and then finally when Moog was like, "Where's the owl bear?" and they were like, "Why are you acting surprised? You always said there was an owl bear." Like,
yes.
Was like, oh.
that was one of the things that was so funny to me. I was like, "What the hell are these owl bears? What? Why does this keep coming up?" And then we finally get the owl bear cubs, and that was just wonderful.
What I was picturing was cute.
Yes. I don't even know what I'm picturing, but it's cute. And I need it. Yeah. The other running gag that I noticed that just kept cracking me up was the whole idea that bards always die. Like they kept saying like, "Oh, we had this bard, but then he died," as bards did. And like that was just like a running gag that like every time a bard came up, they always died, or like just something happened to them tragically. I just thought that was funny because it's like just poking fun at the fantasy genre, which I appreciate. So
yeah, I agree.
Okay, this is a fun question. If you were in a band of mercenaries, what role would you take on? Leader, lockpicker, the strong guy, the witcher wizard, and what weapons or powers would you have?
I for sure want to be the wizard. Then I get like a lot of powers, right? Yeah, wizard powers. Yeah,
the hat where I could just pull out fried chicken. That's what I want.
Well, that's my role.
Love it. I would say, I mean, if I could be the strong guy, that would be awesome. But that's just so not me. So it's just like wish fulfillment. Like, yeah, it'd be so cool to be like the badass, like strong guy, like Gaeldon was. But so not me. Okay. Which of the creatures they encountered did you find the most terrifying?
I'm trying to remember.
No, because there's so many of those creature names that are just like.
I know, all coming. And like, I don't feel that like sense of fear, like even with the wyverns and stuff. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I want to see the what, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, well, that would be pretty scary.
Yes. I would say like it's not a creature, but the rot, just the idea of the rot and how it just takes over you was really scary. Because that, I feel like when Moog had the rot, that was like stakes were raised.
Yeah.
And then he cured it and you're like, well, that was easy. But
for a second I was like worried. I wasn't sure what was going to happen with him.
Yeah, I was actually like, oh, he's going to die at the end, but at least he'll go on this last journey with his buds, which I would have been fine with if that did happen. But I guess he's going to be in future books maybe, so that's fun too. Because
I'll take more of him.
Yes. So I would say the rot, even though it's not a creature.
Yeah.
And then which creature do you wish actually existed?
I want a wyvern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say the owl bear cubs.
Yeah.
Just if they could stay little.
Yeah.
And have yes. All right. Let's see what people are saying. Owl bears are a lie. I mean, the whole time you're like, what are these owl bears?
I just like the person that picked up because I have a cat named Owlfax, and she's like, that's what I thought.
Oh my God, yes, that's right. That's so cute. I love your vlogs. Everyone should go watch Brittany's vlogs. Matrix's wife having multiple different men. Yes, that was funny how they kept poking fun at Matrix for that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding? The hardcover came with owlbear.
Can you like put a picture in the comments? Or
I know, like take a picture, send it to us. That's so cool. I didn't even know they had a hardcover for this. I looked for one. Yeah, because I like getting hardcovers if I can. Where did you get the hardcover, Shane? Tell us your secrets. I want the hat with the food. Yeah, I want the hat with the food. That was a very convenient like plot device to like feed them on their journey. There were a lot of conveniences, but I was like, I'm okay with it.
It kind of just added to like the quirkiness of that.
I know.
Yeah.
It was funny. It was just like, and then they gave it to the cannibals, which I thought was just hilarious, and that the cannibals pulled out like raw flesh out of the hat instead of like cooked food. It was funny. Yes, everybody wants the food. Yes, it's all about the food.
Doesn't that make life easy?
Yes, I agree, Paris. So fun. Oh, the spiders. Yeah. Again, I'm so bad at visualizing. So I'm just picturing like a big spider, but that's probably not it.
I'm thinking like Harry Potter, honestly.
Yes. But I'm sure that they don't look totally like that. You can even get owl bears? Where?
What does that mean?
Where can I get an owl bear?
I'm about to Google this.
Yes, it's true. Okay, I did want to talk about this actually, because I even tabbed at the very beginning. It kind of, they had this moment where Gabe is trying to convince Clay to go on the journey. And Clay has this moment where he's like, sure, maybe, but are the Rasks gone? The Yethics, the Ogre clans, blah, 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 blah. He goes on like this huge list of things that are between them and Castia, where Rose is. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that's going to be what they like find on their journey and they have to fight or something. And it ended up being where they went into the forest and it was like nothing really attacked them. Or they was like such an easy journey through the forest.
Right.
Noticed like that or thought the same?
No, yeah, for sure. Because and then I was thinking about it afterwards, and I was thinking about the times that anybody did actually get hurt, and it was only after the forest on the bridge thing. Like, what I forget what that road was called. That was like after and they down. Yeah. And it was so I'm like afterward, but still, I mean, he was like not a significant character in my opinion, but died not too much anyways.
Yeah.
So I know what you mean. Yeah, it was like there really wasn't much risk.
Yeah, so we agree with you, Julie May. Nothing was really like dangerous to them. They pretty much conquered everything pretty easily. Became friends with everything, yes. But it fits the tone of the story. Yeah, that's a good point. The Moog's relationship and losing his, I don't know if they were like actually like married or anything, but losing his boyfriend to the rot was really sad, and just like how crushed he was when he found out how easy it was to cure the rot. That was sad.
Mm-hmm. I did like getting his and Frederick's, that's his name, right? Story together. His husband,
Yes. Yeah, that was a nice addition, just making him so upset about that. Yeah, I really felt for him. Did the idea of the rot come from Game of Thrones?
That's literally what I pictured the whole time. I can't even, what do you call it right now? I can't even remember.
The scales.
Yeah.
I've like tried to put everything Game of Thrones out of my mind after the last season.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Oh, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother life.
Definitely.
The tone of the book. I didn't read terror. Yeah, I didn't read like none of the creatures really terrified me, or I don't think they were meant to be scary.
Well, and the potential loss of his daughter, like I knew the second was called Bloody Rose, so like I knew his daughter wasn't going to die. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. This is an interesting comment. Ebook Witch. For me, the humor kind of dampened the depth of the story. Yeah, I think like I kind of knew what this book, like the tone of this book was going into it. Like I had heard that it was kind of just this humorous adventure story about these old men who were like, you know, past their prime and whatever. So I kind of knew what I was going into with it, and it was going to be a little more lighthearted. So I feel like it's definitely not going to be for everybody because of that.
And I feel like I think it's important to say that, like you said, Nicholas Eames' goal, I think he accomplished his goal very well. It just is supposed to be ridiculous. Like, you know, that's the kind of novel it is, which it reminds me a lot of The Crown Conspiracy and the humor, like the first book in The Theft of Swords. But I do like that better than this one.
I'm writing that down. The Crown Conspiracy.
So it's the two book. It's in the bind up of Theft of Swords. The first one is The Crown Conspiracy.
Awesome. Okay, so I already own it. Yay! Cool. Yeah. And I've heard Theft of Swords is kind of similar in tone, which is really exciting to me because I did like the tone of this. You just kind of have to be in the mood for it.
The plot's just much more concise. So
okay,
a lot better in my opinion for that reason.
Okay, everybody should note down Theft of Swords. Pick it up if you liked this. I want an owlbear cub, possibly too. Yes, if they sold them, I would buy them. Yeah, the whole thing with Moog, like having that, I forget what he calls it, but like yeah, that was a funny little gag that like that's how he made all of his money, making that spell or something. Okay, Shane, this was to the hardcover. There's some collector website. Oh, they're really expensive.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. They would run that hat dry. Yes.
Wizard hat.
Yes. Oh, this is okay. See, a lot of people are referencing Dungeons and Dragons. There were owlbears in Dungeons and Dragons, so that makes sense. I've never played that game. I mean, this book makes me want to play Dungeons and Dragons
too. I want to play it so bad, but
yeah, I feel like I'm missing out. So that's funny. That okay, yeah. Now I'm looking up fan art for Owlbear.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what else. Introduce the airships. It's like
so that was an aspect that I really hated. Like, I don't know if anybody else felt that way, but it was just like, I don't know. It just isn't my like fantasy. I was like, this is too advanced almost for like what I feel like the setting of this story is.
Yeah. Yeah, and airships, whenever I hear of airships, I always think of steampunk.
Yeah.
Those big air blimp ships in steampunk that I was like, this doesn't feel very much like this world, like it fits in. So that was interesting that they introduced the whole idea of airships. Oh, I know the last time, so we'll just check the chat. If anybody else has any other questions that you want to chat about. I totally like lost track of time while we were talking. So
actually
longer. The humor made me keep reading. Yeah, I think that's what you have to know going into it. That it reminds me of the fantasy version of This Is Spinal Tap. I love. Have you seen This Is Spinal Tap? Yeah. You should watch This Is Spinal Tap.
I like funny things, so
even if you don't like love classic rock or anything like that, it's just funny. This is totally an accurate comment, Jessie. So yes, I agree. The owlbear is a lot cuter than what I pictured. Okay, everybody's looking up pictures of owlbears. The phallic factory.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's called. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I hated the airships. Yeah, people don't like the airships.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Like, it reminds me of The Aeronaut's Windlass by Jim Butcher, which I hated it. So
you didn't like it? Oh, I've heard good things.
I'm not a Jim Butcher fan.
Oh, really? I haven't read any Jim Butcher yet, so I'm curious.
I think that most people do, so maybe disregard.
Yeah, I'll let you know what I think. I was going to read The Furies of Calderon.
That's the one I might give a try because it has stuff.
Okay, I heard that it was similar to like Avatar: The Last Airbender and like Pokemon, and I was like, is like Steel Crow Saga. I'm like intrigued. So what did you think of the portrayal of female characters? You know, when they were in there, I actually really liked them. Like, I loved Larkspur. I thought she was really awesome. I loved her character and how she was very morally gray. Like, I was always on the edge of my seat with her because you didn't know what she was going to do. So I really liked her, and that she actually posed a threat to the crew. I liked that. And then I really liked Lady Jane and the Silk Arrows. I thought that they were a lot of fun. So when they were in there, I really liked them. And I think we're going to get more of it in Bloody Rose.
We're definitely a lot of like antagonists, I guess, between like the wives and, you know what I mean? Of like some of them, they were just a lot of bad characters, but I like them.
I know. I tend to like the like villainous kind of morally gray characters anyway. So I think that's why I just really gravitated towards them.
We're talking about Larkspur though. Can we just talk about Larkspur and is it Gamlian? Is that how you say it?
I love that.
I'm here for this. Like, that's just great.
I loved that. I'm so glad you liked that too. It was just so fitting that those two characters would match up. I don't know. I love that.
I was like, they could just stay together.
I loved that. Yes, I agree with this statement, Rebecca. I thought like Clay's just like unwavering loyalty to his wife and daughter was just, it made him such a great hero to follow.
Yeah.
He's never shady or anything like that. Like I liked him.
He always had good intentions.
Yes. I agree. Yay! We're not the only ones who like the matchup between Larkspur and Gamelon. Such a great matchup.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to chat about. Anything else that you had final thoughts on this?
Just the ending. So Rose's like partner is also a Druin, right? What's her name? So I'm just like wondering, you know, is that because I know that there was like not very many of the Druins left, right?
Yeah.
And I thought they were like not good, and maybe that's not all of them. Maybe that was just some of them. So I'm just curious to see, I guess, in Bloody Rose where that's going. That's kind of what made me want to pick it up because it was just a little bit at the end.
Yes. That was very, very interesting because they made a huge deal about like killing the evil Druins.
Yeah.
And how that kind would go extinct.
Mm-hmm.
So, and really, they did not give away anything about Rose's story at all.
And then, so I don't know. I'm excited to see if that's the next book.
Yes. Okay. Oh, people are posting in Discord. Shoot, I'm missing all this. If you could change anything about the story, what would it be? Do you think that this would make a good series? Okay, the first question first. I'll let you answer it first.
If I could change anything about the story, I think for it to appeal to someone like me, it either needs to be longer and expanded upon more, or just have things taken out of it to make it less all over the place. Just maybe choose less memories to reminisce on, or introduce you to less people and places and things all in the same first book, because that was just like overwhelming, I think. And I needed, in order to care about the history and the lore of like the god, like Last Leaf and his, what was it, heathen, like his siblings and stuff. I just needed more information to feel like I'm supposed to care about it.
I agree with that. I totally agree. I won't give the same answer because that was a really good answer. And I think if I could change something, I would have more moments with the crew just being together and the crew. Yeah. Like I feel like there was a lot of times where we could have had those moments, but there were other characters involved, and it lessened the impact of you seeing the chemistry between the main crew of people. So like we had all those moments where they were together in the forest kind of at night and stuff, but Larkspur was in the picture. And like, while I like her character, it would have been nice to have seen them just kind of reminiscing together or talking about where they've been or what they've been doing or whatever. I liked their moments, and I didn't feel like there were a lot of them.
because I agree, those were some of my every time we got back to just the crew, I started to enjoy it again.
Yeah.
So I agree.
Yeah. And then do you think this would make a good series?
I guess we'll find out if we read the next one.
Yeah, I think maybe this is alluding to, I guess, the second book being more of a companion novel than like a direct sequel. So I don't know. I think that this wrapped up the way it was supposed to, and I don't think I would have liked it if it was much longer, if it had kind of stayed in the same tone and all that, like without the expansion that you were talking about, Brittany, where you're expanding upon the world and the lore and all that. So I don't think I don't need a direct sequel, but I'm excited to explore other characters in the world. I think that's fun.
I think it would have to be either like you get a prequel of when they were younger.
Yeah.
To like experience that. But I don't think I would pick up the second book if it was just directly to their travels.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Good questions. Yes. Very much agree. Roses Drew and partner. Very intrigued. Way more information or way less? Yeah, I agree. Cool.
Free Cloud, that's what her name was.
Free Cloud. Yep.
For him, is it a female or a male? Because I thought
male.
I thought it was a male.
I think.
But then I don't know when in my head I decided to start saying
I don't know.
So it's a male.
We'll find out pretty quick, I guess. Whenever we pick up the next book.
Yeah. Him. Okay.
Thank you, Shane.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, cool. Well, I think that was everybody's questions. Anything else that you wanted to chat about? Thanks, Mom. My mom's
Is that your mom?
My mom.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you, Brittany, so much for helping me pick out the book. I think it was a total hit. I really think that everyone, for the most part, enjoyed it. And even if you didn't enjoy it, hopefully you got something out of it. So I'm so glad that you were able to join. And then if you want to join next month, we're reading this. Oh, yay, you're joining
my TBR.
Yes, and Moons Reads asks August and September. There's a video coming up tomorrow that is announcing August and September's hosts and book club picks. So check out the video tomorrow. But I guess I can give you a sneak peek. So
yay.
Get the 2 books. Where's the other one?
I'm so excited to read Malice with you guys, though.
I've been wanting to for so long. Okay, so August book, you guys get exclusive first look at this, is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin, her newest release.
Oh, okay.
I've heard good things about already. There's a lot of buzz around this one. And then September's pick is The Rage of Dragons. So, have you read this one yet, Brittany?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You like it?
Good. Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm very excited for that. So that's August and September, and then Malice for July. So, yay, awesome. Well, thank you again so much. Thank you all so much for joining.
Thank you for having me and asking me. I had so much fun.
Of course. Yes. And maybe you'll be a repeat host in the future. All right. Well, thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your night. And I will talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.